So the campfire is starting to pick up, and it's like 9
It's
p.m.
picking someone up?
Sure is. And night begins to fall. It's a nice afternoon. It's very pretty out. The sky is a nice orange and purple. And all the groups are starting to gather around this large bonfire in the middle of all the sheds and the clearing. So,
Can I
time to be merry.
Can I use minor illusion? Can I use minor illusion to make the campfire different colors? It's a cantrip.
Yeah.
Like, I want to change the color. I just want to make it look cool. Like it'll shift between like.
You're gonna make it like a
Like it could be
like a party light.
Yeah.
Like a face.
Like a disco.
Party.
Yeah. And a couple of the people from Sabretooth come over to Allison as she's doing this. She's standing and like waving her hand in front of the fire, and it's changing colors. A couple people from Sabretooth come over, and they're just like, "Wow, that's a really cool illusion. You're really good at that spell." You recognize them. One is named Rouse, and the other is named Udara.
Rouse.
You know both of them just from other missions and whatever. So they come over and they're like, "Allison, that's a really cool illusion spell. You're really good at that."
Allison blushes and is really shy. Like, oh, thanks, guys.
And
but is obviously pleased that people like it.
Yeah. And they just start showing you other illusory spells that they know.
Loser spells.
Yeah, they show you nerd spells.
Yeah.
They start making like small fires appear in like over the bonfire.
Like
just,
making shapes with
sparks and
Ooh,
stuff.
make the sparks dance and like turn into little shapes.
Yeah. They show you they can create lights and things like that. We'll go over to
Your names were Ralph and Under or whatever.
Rouse
and Undara.
Rouse and
Udara.
You all just said the same thing like 4 times.
Udara is a dragonborn paladin girl. She's really cool. She's got like maroon scales and a tail underneath her leather and iron armor.
You had me until tail.
You had me
And then Rouse is a halfling cleric boy. He's pretty average looking. Pretty unassuming.
Loser.
A loser nerd. A cleric's like a healer, mage, kind of. They get their magic from a higher power.
Cleric is just like
a divine
a
power.
lame wizard.
That's not true. Clerics are cool.
It's like a Jesus wizard.
It's a religious wizard.
Yeah,
It's like a
religious
priest.
wizard. We're gonna cut over to Lum. Lum walks up he finds Gan over by the shed that we set up shop in, and he's like, "Hey Gan, you wanna come hang out at the campfire with me?"
Yeah, sure, Lum.
Yeah, me and the Goodhearts were just starting a game of Farm Wars.
Oh, are you serious? I got my Farm Wars deck right here.
You do? I didn't know you played.
I'm the greatest at Farm Wars. Let's play.
All right, follow me. And he just leads you over to the Goodhearts.
Okay.
Where is Zero right now at the bonfire?
Everyone else somewhere?
Everyone else is in different groups.
We're just mingling.
Just by the campfire.
Lum and Gen pass you as they're walking over to the Goodhearts, and Lum pats you on the back and he says, "Hey Zero, I heard that Lyrae was looking for you."
Who?
Lyrae is this girl from the Flawless Four.
That's the Christians group?
Christians, yeah.
Christine.
I'm so sorry. Because David was fucking it up in the podcast.
Lyrae is
Sorry.
Lyrae's an elvish cleric. She's super outspoken and stuff, and she's not as uptight as the rest of the people from the Flawless Four. So like, you know who she is. But yeah, Lum passes you and he's like, I heard that she was looking for it. Anyways, that's all. And then Lum and Gen walk over to the Good Hearts.
I'm just running around with what's his name? The other.
Oh, Tynef? You
Tiny
walk around with Tynef? Yeah, you guys.
running around banging on rocks.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
pots.
I was gonna
We're
say.
like finding rocks and dirt and
Uh-huh.
like making
Oh, this sounds cool.
actions.
Tynef picks up a stone and he's like, yeah, you see, this one wouldn't be really good for playing, cause.
Oh right. Uh-huh.
And he knocks on it, and he's like, you see, that's just not a very full sound.
Yeah. I
You
think-
really want a smooth rock that can make a really loud noise.
Right. Hey Tyne, have you ever tried like wood?
Why would I?
What? I don't know. I was just wondering.
It just doesn't make as cool a sound as two rocks. Is Zero going to look for Lyrae?
Yes, yeah.
Zero. You look around the bonfire for Lyrae, and Lyrae sees you walking up to her, and she comes up to you and she says, "Oh my God, there you are! I was looking for you everywhere. I might have something you're interested in.
What's that?
You know, I've seen you around school in the shooting ranges a lot, and I've seen that you're really good with your bow.
Apparently not.
I don't know what that's alluding to, but I go to the ranges a lot too, and I practice with my bow. So I was wondering if you might want to do a challenge. You know, me versus you.
Is it dark out right now?
It's the sun is setting currently.
So right now?
Yeah, right now.
Well, it's dark out.
He just said the sun's
It's
up.
as good a time as ever as any. It's as good a time as any.
Sure, let's do it.
Lyrae brings out this handmade circular target that she uses for her own practice, and she she taps Christian on the shoulder, and she's like, "Hey, Christian, can you hold this while we do some?"
Who's that?
Who's Christian?
The bad guy that
The
we like?
obnoxious,
The
like
uptight guy. Yeah, he's a paladin.
Little-
human.
He's gonna hold
douchebag.
it. He's
Little
gonna let.
She's like, yeah. She's like, can you hold this target that I made while we, we're
Shoot
gonna
at
we're
it?
gonna face off and shoot at it. And he's like, it's like, of course I can. I'm the bravest paladin there is here. I'll just show off how brave I am. I'll even stand in front of the fire as you shoot at it. It'll look even cooler. So he takes the handmade target and he goes and he stands with his back to the fire and he's facing you guys. And you guys stand like 50 feet away. And
how's he holding it?
like this in front of his chest.
What's it made out of?
It's a wooden circular target
Okay.
that Lyrae
How
made.
thick is that wood?
It's thick enough, like
So if it hit the target, we're not getting.
it's
a
not
Christian
gonna pierce
kebab.
through. No.
Okay.
It's like 5 inches thick wood.
Christian kebab.
Christian kebab. I don't want that tonight.
Yeah, and then there's a painted target with different circle lines on it to denounce different point values for where your arrow hits. Lyrae says to Zero, "Well, are you ready? Do you need to do any stretches before you shoot or anything?"
You can go first.
Oh, you want? Okay, that's a bad choice on your part.
We'll see.
So this is gonna be.
Is this in view of everybody else?
It's in front of the
Oh yeah,
fire.
yeah.
Can
It's in
Allison
front of
see
us.
this?
Everyone can see it. Yeah.
Okay, Allison is getting ready. She's preparing to cast shield on Christian.
Okay, in case
Just-
the
yeah,
arrow
just
is
in
going at
case.
the wrong part.
Yeah.
What attack roll is your bow? Do you know?
God. You asking what
What-
damage
yeah,
I use?
what-
I use a 10.
A 10. Okay. So she's gonna roll the same. So
I'm sitting with Lum, Fayola, and Violus at the fire. Just watching.
Velias.
Violus.
Violus.
Yeah. You're watching this.
Yes.
You watch.
Everybody's watching.
Yeah, everybody's watching now.
What does the winner get? Pride.
She didn't. Yeah, that's basically it. It's just respect.
It's for who's the best.
No,
archer.
I'm not shaking.
Fun game.
Lyrae,
Not yet, anyway.
you watch as she stands.
It's campfire.
She stands up tall with her back straight, and she pulls her.
I'm
bow.
expecting her to just miss.
She
That's
pulls her
what I
bow
see
off
right
of her back, and she strings an arrow and pulls the line taut to her cheek and aims it, looking down at the bullseye on Christian's chest. And she draws back and she fires her bow.
Uh-oh. What is it?
And her arrow shoots through the air, and you hear it whistle a little bit. And time seems to stand still, and we watch as the arrow goes dead in the center of the bullseye. And it hits Christian. It hits Christian, and he bounces back a little bit, and he's like, and he looks down at it, and he's like, "Oh my God, good shot, Lyrae!" And she steps back, and she says, "All right, you're up."
I don't say anything. I just step in front of her.
Yeah,
No.
make a damage roll.
Yep. I pull back my bow. So wait, am I just rolling just the d10?
Just roll d20 and d10.
Okay. Oh, God.
Just like a normal attack.
Yeah. Thanks. Wait, what is that? What was the d20 roll?
That's for like,
Strength?
how much you're targeting it, how well you're hitting.
So is it anything?
What
You
did
mean like is that strength or anything or not?
the
d20.
Does he get a modifier as well?
That's yeah. That's what I'm asking.
if your bow has a to hit bonus, then yes it does. Okay, then it doesn't get a bonus.
Okay.
But with that, you Zero does the same thing. He stands tall, strings back his bow, lets it fire, and it flies through the air, and it hits the line between the smallest circle and the next. So it's not as dead shot as
So it was a 9 or
Lyrae's.
was it 10?
Yeah. So it's
Pretty
close.
good.
It was between.
Like the circle,
Uh-huh.
the middle circle
Yeah.
is 10. And on
Yeah.
the line is that number. So it was on the 9th
Yes,
circle?
it was.
Okay.
It was. And Lyrae says, "It's a pretty nice shot, especially from this far away and at this time of night. You want to go for another round?
I say, yeah, you just had a lucky shot. Let's go again.
You think it was luck, eh?"
Yeah, I do.
And she stands up, strings her bow back, and she goes for another shot. This one,
Does better than the die? Yeah, keep going.
she releases the arrow, flies through the air, makes a whiz, and it makes a clean thunk into the wood, about a centimeter away from her first shot, still within the bullseye.
Did they step back?
No,
Oh.
they're in the same spot. They're like 40 feet away. She hit the bullseye again, right next to her first shot.
Okay. Okay, I'll just go again. I
Uh-huh.
step in front of her.
Yeah.
And I shoot.
Uh-oh.
I hit Christian in the line.
The damage? Okay. Zero lines up his next shot, and as he's about to fire, he just hears rustling in the trees behind him, and it messes up his shot, and his hand loses strength and grip as he's holding it, and it lets the arrow fly, and it's a very weak shot. It's not a straight line, and it arcs downwards, and it hits Christian in the upper
Oh.
thigh.
Wait, do I have time to cast anything to stop that or no?
No, Christian is wearing armor though.
Oh.
Christian is watching as this arrow plummets toward him and arcs down below the target and hits him in the upper thigh. He's wearing thick leather armor over his legs right now, and it goes through the leather and gives him a small wound on his thigh. And he immediately drops the target, and he starts like getting super worked up and scared, and he's like, oh my god, I just got shot. Somebody help! And he lets himself fall down onto the floor.
My leg!
I can't. Lyrae turns to 0 and she
No.
says, Yeah?
No, she's behind me, right? Because I stepped.
Yeah,
up
you
and shot.
step in front of her, yeah.
I just put the bow on my back and I just sigh. I don't turn around and I just say, "Good shooting," and then I just walk away. Is there a lake or not?
No, we're in deep forest.
No.
Okay.
David.
No, David.
Stay out of
David.
it, David.
We're in deep forest right now. There aren't any you could find a small stream.
I just walk away from the campfire.
Yeah,
That's all I want to do.
You walk into the woods.
By myself, but not. I don't just walk into the woods.
I know. You can follow like a
One
path.
tear rolling down the street.
Lyrae just stands there, kind of shocked, and then she just takes a second to think about what just happened and walks over to Christian, who's laying on the ground, writhing like a little baby.
Pinef and Onyx run by.
They're clapping.
Like laughing.
These are dancing around the rocks.
Yeah. We're gonna go back to Gen and the Goodhearts right now. They watched that all happen. The Goodhearts kind of laughed at Christian, and they went back to playing Farm Wars.
Yeah.
And Fayola, who is right now watching the game, nudges Gen, and she's like, "Hey, Gen, you want to hear something kind of crazy that I heard today at school before we left?"
Yeah, what's up?
So Fayola turns to Gen and she says, "This might be a little bit of gossip, but I was hanging around one of my teacher's rooms earlier because I needed an extra book or something, and another teacher came in while I was waiting. My bard teacher was finishing up some paperwork, and then another teacher came in. I think they were a sorcerer teacher. They were wearing blue robes down to the ground, and they walked in. They came over to my teacher, and I overheard them. I wasn't eavesdropping, but I totally heard them, and they said the wizard teacher came in, and they were they said something about an invasion."
Invasion?
Yeah, that was one of the words that I heard the most when what they said. They were like, "We're gonna get invaded." I have no idea what by. I don't know what they were talking about, and it might not be anything. I just thought it was really interesting.
Good to know.
Do you know anything about that?
I have no idea. Wasn't my dad your group leader?
Yeah, your dad's teaching us.
Do you know where he is right now?
I think he's sleeping in our shed right now.
Okay. I'll ask him about it in the morning.
All right.
Thanks for letting me know, Joe.
Yeah, no problem.
Hopefully it's an invasion of crazy monsters who I can slay.
Maybe so. That might be fun.
Yes, it will. Okay.
You guys.
Mom, I'm gonna beat you this round.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to Farm Wars.
Yeah, the game just finished up, and now you're up next playing against Lum. The campfire night ends, and everybody goes to sleep in their sheds. And we wake up the next morning. You guys wake up to the sound of... Not that sound, no. You wake up to the sound of birds chirping, and you feel the sun rays shining through the clearing onto your faces. The roof doesn't cover that much of the sun because it's the roof.
He said rough. He said rubs.
White tiger.
White tiger.
What is happening?
I think they're arguing.
No, is it me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
White Tiger's gonna wake up Allison and Onyx. by shaking them awake rather abruptly, and ask them if they want to go out early for some extra training. The other two are welcome to join, but don't have to.
Wait,
Did
so
you shake them awake or
us
not?
up?
Or?
I kicked everyone in the shit.
Yeah, you guys,
Oh my god.
yeah, everybody's awake, and then White Tiger invites Allison and Onyx to go do some specific training.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna
always
stay
up for
back
some
and
training.
talk to Dad.
0.
I'll go do my own thing.
Okay, see you.
Alright, bye.
Where do I take them?
Yeah, White Tiger leads Allison and Onyx through the woods a little bit.
On the way, I'm playing my dulcimer,
Nice.
having a good little morning.
I'm clapping along, but not in tune at all, or like in time at all.
Not clapping in tune.
It's just the worst.
Oh my god, Alice. You guys walk until you reach. It's a little stream with a lot of trees around in the thick of the forest.
So I brought you here this morning to learn some spells. First, Onyx, I understand you have some healing talents.
I do, yeah.
I'm gonna teach you how to mass cure wounds.
Ooh.
And White Tiger shows you what that spell is. It's gonna take you a while to actually learn how to properly do it, but White Tiger shows you.
Cure wounds?
It's mass cure wounds, so it's like a bigger level of that. White Tiger shows you what mass cure wounds does, and she stands there, says a short incantation, and waves her arms down towards the ground, and you see this wave of light come out from where her feet are standing, and it travels along the ground for some distance, goes behind the trees, and you can't see where it ends, but it's just this wave of light. And White Tiger explains to you that within that range, people would get healed.
Wow.
And Allison, you're gonna learn this morning how to dispel magic.
Ooh. Alan says, "Oh, okay."
We go into a little bit of a training montage of it's White Tiger trying to teach Onyx this incantation to cast mass cure wounds, and she's trying to show her the hand gestures, and Onyx is like sort of following, sort of doing her own thing, and then at the same time, White Tiger is holding another hand out, casting a plant growth spell behind her, and Allison is standing there with her hands together trying to dispel the plants that are growing in front of her. But yeah, it goes on for some time, and it's like a few hours of White Tiger teaching them and you guys learning these spells. You obviously can't get them entirely down in this amount of time, but you guys have a gist of how to cast these spells now.
Well, what's the description of like
Dispel magic?
Yeah,
I'll give it to you later.
you got it.
Wow, Mrs. White Tiger, you're so cool. Sometimes I feel like you could be my mom.
Honestly, would trade you for some of my family member.
Some of my family member.
Just the one. I won't say which. But
There's only 3 others.
good job. Your circle of light is small but substantial. Just like you.
Oh, thanks.
It could be better.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah, thank you, Mrs. White Tiger.
And Allison, you got some half-baked dispelling, but could protect you in a pinch, so don't forget.
I won't. Thank you.
We'll cut to Gen, who is walking towards the shed where the good hearts were sleeping. All of the good hearts are now awake. They are like preparing breakfast and stuff. As Papa Bear is sitting in the corner of the shack, leaning up against the wall, snoring very loudly.
I'm gonna knock quietly on the wall and just call out quietly to see if I can wake him up.
Papa Bear jostles awake and he shakes a little bit and he ruffles his own hair and then he says, "Oh, Dagon, it's you?
Hey, Dad.
What's up?"
Just heard you were my friend's group leader and thought I'd stop by.
Well, it's nice to see you, son. It's been a while.
Yes, it has.
I actually have something that you might need.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
What is
You didn't know?
No.
Well, he stands up out of the corner, and you see his great sword lying across the back wall behind him as he stands up. He stands up in front of you and gives you a handshake.
Warrior handshake.
Yeah, the one that you always do.
Yeah.
And he says, "Well, have you found your primal rage yet?"
No. I'll get it sometime soon though.
All right. It'll take time, but it'll come to you.
Okay.
That's how mine came to me.
Good to know.
Well, have you been training your strength?
Every day.
It's like sky high.
I'm not gonna be a sidekick, Dad.
I'm glowing.
That's like the exact same thing he said to him. It's like, he's like, "You strong yet?" And then like, he says, "Don't worry, you'll come.
You'll grow into
Yeah,
it.
you'll grow into it."
And Papa Bear says to you, "I sure hope you've been training your strength."
I have.
Well,
I've definitely been in need of a weapon stronger than this little dagger to take down the big beasts.
Well, that's kind of perfect, because what I have for you... He turns around and he grabs the great sword off of the wall. And he holds it out towards you. And he says, "You know, again, I always planned on giving you my sword that I use. You know, I turn into a bear, and bears can't really hold swords anyway. But I thought I'd give it to you when you're strong enough."
That's amazing. I thought you were just bringing that for show as part of your costume.
Well, I kind of was, but I also wanted you to have it.
Okay, well, I'm in need of it too, cause I got a lot of big beasts and monsters on the back burner. Now I'm ready to go.
I'm sure you do.
I'll take good care of it.
He points down at it and he says, he points down at like all these markings on the handle of it.
Hilt.
Yeah, the hilt, that's the word.
Yes.
And he says, "These engravings, they're from a faraway kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
I got this sword when I was on contract for a faraway queen. It's probably the best sword I've ever wielded.
Really?
It means a lot for me to give it to you." And he outstretches his hands towards you with the sword.
Very nervously take the sword, and it kind of weighs my hands down a little bit.
You make a strength check.
What is my bonus?
+5.
No, that was athletics. My strength would be 3, so I got 11.
When you hold the sword, the blade side of it weighs your other hand down, and you drop the blade side of the sword onto the ground.
Okay.
It's embarrassing.
He goes, "I guess it is a little too heavy for you so far."
I'll keep training, and I'll be able to wield it.
Yes, of course. Well, good luck, Ken.
Also, one more thing.
What?
I heard a rumor. Do you know anything of an invasion coming?
An invasion of where?
Our land?
I don't think I've heard anything about that.
Alright, never mind.
Where'd you hear that?
One of my friends told me a teacher was talking about it.
He looks like he's really processing hearing this news. Not like he's stupid, but like it means it's very important to him that the land is safe. Mm-hmm. So hearing that there could be an invasion, he gets a little nervous. Not like nervous.
Alert. Anxious.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know much. Just thought I'd let you know since you're an experienced hero.
Right. Thank you for telling me. Mm-hmm. I guess I should get to actually training these kids and teaching them.
Yeah, I should probably go train too.
All right. I'll see you, son.
Okay, good seeing you. Thank you for the sword. I'm gonna make you proud someday. And then
a tear trickles out of the corner of Papa Bear's eye.
That's my boy.
What is Zero doing right now?
He's shooting a stick dummy he made.
Okay. Training his archery.
He's missing.
Aw.
Poor
so
guy.
sad. Hello there. Welcome to this week's campfire. It's DM Nako alone again. This week I'm going to talk about Kumo, also known as Papa Bear, who is Gen's father, who showed up in this episode and the episode before. Kumo is he's a barbarian Goliath, just like Gen is. He has just now at this point given Gen his old greatsword. Kumo, he holds a lot of physical strength and he trains his body a lot because he uses, like being a barbarian, he has to be physically strong, and he uses the rage of a bear, which is really cool, and he likes to wear fur to demonstrate that and stuff like that. But he has this sword. He said that he got it from a contract mission where he was protecting the queen of a faraway land. That was just a little thing in his backstory. When he was a young hero, he got contracted alone away from his group, and he got sent to this faraway country where he became part of a queen's guard. And this greatsword is the Queen's Guard was full of giants. That's why these swords are so big. That's why it seems too big for Gen, and it's really heavy. Because all of the great swords were made for giants. But Kumo, since he trains so much, he was strong enough to hold it, and he was part of that Queen's Guard for a while he was on that mission, and he got paid for it before returning home. But anyways, that's just a little look into Kumo's backstory and the where the sword came from. And now Kumo has passed it down to Gen. Gen can't really hold it yet, but we're gonna see what he can do with it in the future. Anyways, that's all for this week's campfire, and I hope you're enjoying the episode. We'll get right back into the story right now. So I'll see you later. I'm going to say that White Tiger, Onyx, and Allison returned back to the camp after a little bit of their training. And somebody approaches White Tiger coming from the trail that leads off to the logging company's building. So this lumber worker comes up to White Tiger and they say, "Hey Rena, long time no see."
I'm sorry, do I know you?
It's been a while. My name's Tarth. Does that ring a bell?
Tarth.
No, I might have known a Tarth back in the day. Why don't you jog my memory?
That's all right. I have something that we might need your help for. Because you're with the groups, right?
Yeah.
Are you guys up to help us out with something? Might be some monster hunting or investigating involved.
Yeah.
Hunting?
Sounds like it could be good training.
Yeah, Gen is walking up and he hears monster hunting.
I'm straggling behind the group because I have to drag the sword on the ground.
Wherever we walk, there's a line in the dirt, just like
Zero's in the forest right now. So you guys you're gonna help?
Yeah, are you all up for that?
Yeah.
Of
Can you give
course.
us any more description of what we're doing?
Yeah, of course. A couple of our workers were just out walking, scouting new trees to cut down and stuff like that. And they found this it's like a cavern down in the ground, and they were gonna go check it out themselves, but we have these heroes here. We might as well have them go down in the cavern, check out, make sure that it's safe for us to go down too.
Okay.
So you want us to do your dirty work?
Onyx is
That's a very interesting accent. Yeah, where do you come from?
Oh, I was just kidding. We're happy to help, sir.
Oh, okay. Sweet. Yeah. Is this your whole group?
No, we're actually missing one. Why doesn't Onyx play the little "Come to Us" song?
Oh yeah, our group come to us. Do-do-do-do-do.
Did Zero choose to respond?
Start playing the
Okay, then I guess I'm back.
Yeah, Zero, as you guys are talking, Zero walks out of the woods behind one of the sheds, and you guys see him as he's putting all of his stuff in the shed, like his dummy that he was shooting at and stuff like that. Well, I guess if you guys are ready, I'll lead you guys over to the cavern thing.
Let's do it.
All right. The lumber worker leads you guys through the woods a little bit, and
Wow, it sounds like someone's screaming.
yeah, there's so much trouble over there.
Weird things live in this forest. But
That's true.
Cats.
Babies.
Probably.
Baby cats.
Luigi's.
some Goombas.
They lead
Italian
you.
mafia.
They lead you toward this rocky hill, and at the foot of the hill, there are some large jagged rocks. It's like the dirt fades out into this stone floor, and there are these jagged rocks sticking out, and in between the rocks is a cavern down in the ground.
I got this one, guys. This is like my home. This is like
Rock
my
City.
stomping ground.
That's true. Yeah. The lumber worker that led you guys over brought another lumber worker with them, and they have some rope, and they were like, we can hang out here at the top when you guys go down, so if there's any issue, we can just haul you up here with this rope. Sound good? They tie it to a nearby rock. Well, I guess head down there and let us know how it is.
All right. Let's
What's
do
your,
this
what's your
thing.
marching order? Who's going down?
White Tiger, do you want to take the lead?
I think I'm gonna let you all lead, and I'll bring up the rear in case anything goes south. But I think this is a good learning moment
All right.
for some future
How
heroes.
dark is it in the cave?
Very dark.
All right, I'm gonna.
The only light in there is the sunlight streaming through, so the cracks in the
I'm
surface.
gonna go ahead and light my wand.
Expelliarmus.
Yes, my wand is called Expelliarmus. And I'm gonna say Lumos.
Yeah, I've heard Harry Potter.
I've heard it.
I've heard of him.
Guys,
Yeah.
I think I can lead this one just because, I know what's up.
All right.
I'll walk behind her.
Directly down into the cracks in the ground, the rope. So they cast the rope down there after tying it to this rock, and it's just going straight down this hole in the stone, and it goes down for about 30 feet, and then there's ground at the bottom of that. So you guys climb down this rope. The first bit of the hole is very tight. All the stones are close together as you're holding onto this rope and slowly rappelling down into the cave. And after about 20 feet, it opens up into this big room. And then it's just open air as you're climbing down the rope to the floor of the room. The first ones that get down there notice, that's Allison and Onyx, I guess. They in this room, it's carved out of this huge amount of stone that's under the ground. There's like no dirt in this area, it's just all stone. And one wall has a pile of small rocks and like larger boulders stacked up against the wall. And then on the far side of that, there's a small passageway that seems to lead to another room. That's all that's in this small cave room, and you can see it lit up by Allison's wand.
Thanks, Allison.
You're welcome.
Do you guys know that in like our own minds, we don't even use lights. We can see in the dark.
I can see in the dark too. I have dark vision.
So cool like that.
Again, do you have dark vision?
No, I don't have dark vision.
Does your sister have dark vision?
No.
She does.
She does.
She does not have dark vision.
Does Zero have dark vision?
Yep.
Okay, so everybody can see down here except for Gen.
I've dark
I'm sure you got dark vision.
Can I cause an earthquake? Would
Well-
that, like a small one, to tumble the rocks? Or is that not helpful?
That I'll just tell you, it probably won't.
Okay. I'm chilling then.
So, Alex, what do your underground senses tell you?
Alright, here's what you gotta know about mines. you look into the darkness with no fear. The rocks can sense your fear, okay?
She's so wise.
Allison's knees are quaking.
You gotta go in with the confidence of 1,000 lions into the dark depths of fiery caves.
Wait, there's fire?
It's metaphorical, Allison.
Sorry.
But you know what? I believe in us. Go, team!
Okay, so what do you want to do though?
I start playing a little tune. Family mining song.
Alright, do you guys want to look down the path or
Yeah.
the empty
There's a passageway on one
passageway?
wall.
Do you guys
Wait, so
Did
what?
my dad give me the sheath to put the sword on?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, that's good. While Onyx was talking, I was trying to figure out
How the sheath works.
how to sheath the sword.
It's like a shoulder hold for it, and it goes over the top of your shoulder.
You lift it up and you fall back.
Yeah, you have to sit on the ground to put it in.
Alright, so I guess I'll
You're
walk
gonna lead?
towards the passageway.
Okay, it's like,
Does it look like it was made by humans?
it looks like it's been dug out by people. I won't say human specifically, but like,
Understandable. Sorry, I shouldn't have
it's
been so
been
close-minded.
like mined out by people. And this passageway is, the room that you're in is about 10 feet tall. This passageway is about 5 feet.
Okay.
You have to bend over.
You might have to nod your head a little bit.
Not just shape shift.
Wait, okay, sorry. Are we looking
Oh,
for
yeah, what are you shapeshifting?
Are we looking for monsters?
They were just asking you to make sure that it's safe down there, so that they can go down and look for like ores or gemstones or something.
I'm gonna shapeshift into a white tiger, shockingly.
Cool.
Just because my shoulder height will be lower and I can walk through
Yeah,
the
yeah.
passage without like banging my head.
And you're taking up the rear. Yeah. Okay. You guys walk through this passageway with your heads bowed a little bit, and at the end, oh yeah, not Onyx.
Onyx is skipping through the tunnel.
Playing her dulcimer. You can hear the sounds of the dulcimer echoing off of the hard walls of these caverns.
Can we say it inspires them?
Are you casting bardic inspiration?
Yes.
You can only cast it on one person, right?
No, oh wait. Yeah,
I think it's one person
a
at a
creature
time.
within 50 feet.
You could use both slots and do 2, but like it's up to you.
Well, never mind.
Okay. You guys are walking and skipping through this passageway, and at the end, Allison holds her wand out, and it opens up into a room about the same size as the first one you came down into. And you look down on the ground at the passageway, and the passage is up on the wall, about 5 feet away from the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a drop.
Okay.
And right on the wall in the room, so right now beneath you, there are mine carts, but there are no mine cart tracks in the room. But the mine carts are full of rocks and stones.
Okay. Does the ramp is it a ramp that goes down into the room?
No,
Or is
it just blocks off in the wall.
Oh.
But you can like step down into the room off of the mine carts.
Do you guys want to?
Do you think it fell? And like the dust moves, so there's no tracks? I'm trying to figure out how there's no tracks.
Oh no, they just like push the mine carts into here.
He meant like,
Oh,
he meant
just
like
like
rails,
carrots.
like rails.
Yeah, there are no.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go investigate. I want to.
You guys step down into the room.
Can we see the
Once
others?
you're standing in the room, you can now see that there is another passage to your left. So in this room, there's the mine carts, and then a passage to your left.
I guess we'll just investigate each room and then go to the next one.
I guess so, yeah.
Is there anything that like is besides the mine carts? Is there any other like?
Nothing else is in the room. The mine carts are the most like
Notable.
important, notable thing. That
Do
you
I
see.
recognize the make of the mine carts? Like you would make them?
What year and
What?
series are the mine carts?
What engine do they have?
Car guys.
Car guy.
It's a 16 pistol engine.
Whoa.
On these babies.
They revolve.
No, they're both. It's 2 mine carts, and they're both filled to the brim with shining stones. When you hold the wand over them, you can see the light reflecting off of them.
Shiny.
Is there any way to figure out what those are?
Onyx can identify these. Make an investigation
Oh,
check.
yeah.
if you want
Hey,
to.
Onyx, you know what these stones are? They look pretty.
Duh. What's 4?
Okay.
12.
Onyx looks at these stones, and she can tell that they're valuable gemstones.
I also have +4 Arcana. That would be like kind of bad.
That's
right?
magic. No. That's,
Oh, that's only magic?
yeah.
Okay, well, history +4.
Yes. Yeah. You got it. Onyx takes one up in her hand and looks at it and weighs it and looks how the light reflects off of it, and it has like a blue tone to it, and she can tell you what kind of gemstone it is.
It's lapis lazuli.
Whoa, nice.
It's
Lapis. Hell yeah.
it's fairly valuable. It's nothing like crazy like a diamond or gold or anything like that, but you could sell it for a price if you wanted to.
Does it look like anybody has touched these mine carts for a while, or do they look?
They're covered in a layer of dust.
Okay. Can I like take a hand, one that I can hold in my hand?
Yeah.
Cool.
And what?
Put
Put
that-
it in
Put it in my backpack. I want to
Okay.
make a pendant out of it
Okay.
eventually.
Yeah.
All right, you guys.
Wait, so you're stealing their rock?
Well, okay, hold on. There are
Well,
mine
the
carts in
current
a-
miners aren't the ones who mine
Oh,
that.
so
Those
these
are
No,
are
the-
lumberjacks.
The people that work in the forest are logging. They're
Lumberjacks.
lumberjacks. Yeah. So they do not work in these mines.
And I assume there's no tracks, and they have a fine layer of dust, so probably nobody has come here for a while.
So these are old mines.
You guys look over to the doorway, and there are tracks.
All the people disappeared for some reason.
There are tracks in the passage
killed
in the
them.
next passageway, but not in the room that you're in.
Okay.
Also, the passageway slopes downwards,
Interesting.
so it's a sloped track,
Do you guys want to go on a roller
and
coaster?
you can't see the end of that.
Wait, but okay, but what I'm wondering is this someone's rocks or are these like left here?
Well,
Yeah, they're my rocks.
they're obviously somebody's because they're in like a person-made mine cart, but like they're covered in a layer of dust. They haven't been touched in a while.
Oh, okay,
Can we
then I'm
dump
gonna
them
take
out?
one.
And
then
ride the
minecart.
You guys can
Roller coaster.
if you want to.
Let's go.
Yeah, I want to do that.
I'm gonna take one, by the way. Can I?
Yeah,
put it
yeah,
in
yeah,
my
you can.
inventory?
You can.
Are these like just gemstones that are uncut, or are they like in rock? Is it rock with it in it, or is it just like the uncut?
They're like chunky. They're covered in some stone in some places.
Okay.
They're cut right out of ore.
Gotcha. That's a good snap.
Nice.
So, are you guys dumping out one of the mine carts?
Yeah, and
Okay.
we'll put it back later.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
Yeah. Push it all the way back.
You guys take it over to the rails, and you're able to hold it on the rails.
Reverse
Somebody-
gravity.
Somebody's
I can
holding.
reverse gravity.
Are you?
Wait,
of course you can.
Seriously?
Somebody
back
has to be holding it so that it doesn't go straight down the hill yet. Are you
I'll hold
holding it? Okay, Gan is holding on to the back of the
I'm
mine
gonna
cart.
make a spike, so it just slows us down somewhat.
Okay.
We haven't,
Is that okay?
We haven't gotten in yet.
Yeah. Who's gonna get in this?
I
Oh,
wanna
I'm
do it.
totally riding this.
I think so. Yeah. I think
Yeah,
that's
I'm in
fine.
there. 0?
You in?
Yeah, I'm gonna get in.
Sure.
Party.
As you guys, so all four of you are getting in.
Yes. 5.
5?
You're also getting in. Okay.
Duh.
Sorry.
Or I can run after him.
As you guys
Do
walk,
a beer.
you guys walk through the doorway to get over to the minecart, and as you guys pushed the minecart in, you didn't see it before, but now this cobweb came off of the wall of the doorway as he pushed the minecart through it to set it on the rails.
If I point my light down the tunnel, does it look like there's more cobwebs?
No, it was just at that doorway.
Okay.
So you guys hop in. White Tiger has a spike on the rail before you guys go, so the wheels don't start rolling yet. Everybody's in, and she lets the spike go, and you guys, you start picking up speed very fast. There's a lot of weight in this minecart. You guys are going down at a slope. What?
No, I'm trying to think. Do minecarts have brakes? These aren't
No.
meant to carry people.
No,
so
they're
it's-
meant to be pushed by people, holding rocks and stuff. So they don't have brakes.
Okay, gotcha.
And you guys are barreling. You start picking up a lot of speed, and you start barreling down this passageway. It keeps the same slope for a long while, and then very quickly, this doorway is approaching you. And before you know it, you come out of the passageway into a huge cavernous room.
Can I use gust and push the wind at us to start slowing us down?
Before you reach the doorway, yes, you can try. I'm gonna make you roll.
Even though that's a cantrip?
Yes, I'm gonna make you roll to see if you can do it in time. Roll Dex.
Dex?
Yeah.
It's just an 18.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to use gust and slow the whole group down a little bit. It blows at you guys straight up the passage, right before you go through this doorway. So you lose most of your speed, but then you come out of the doorway and the rails just completely stop off, and the cart goes off the rails into open air.
Did
and
you know we were gonna get in the cart?
I didn't predict that, but
I was like, God
but it's not an issue.
Okay.
You guys come out of the passageway and you fall for about 15 feet inside the minecart. As you're falling, you see cobwebs all around the doorway, stretching with the minecart as it comes out of the doorway, and it snaps all of the cobwebs.
I got a bad.
I'm here.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Everybody make a Dex saving throw. What did everybody get?
9.
I got a 3.
14. 17.
Take some
You
damage.
got 17.
I'm gonna take some damage.
You have to add that.
Oh my god, 17.
Allison's gonna break it.
What did you get? 20?
Yeah.
Nice.
Catch
You-
me, please.
The minecart falls out from under you as you guys are coming out of into this opening, Zero catches his balance in the air and does a nice landing. Doesn't suffer any damage from it. Allison,
Eat shit.
what did you get? What did you get? Allison and Gen both are caught completely off guard and they fall onto their shoulders, and you guys both take 8 damage.
Don't look at me like that,
You
Mom.
take 8 fall damage.
8 fall.
That's half my health.
It was pretty rough. You guys are going really fast.
Can I do a little tumble out?
Yeah, Onyx
Holy.
tucks into a little ball and rolls out as she hits the ground. You'll take 2 damage. It was a hard impact.
Boy.
And then White Tiger in her tiger form. Were you still in tiger form?
A
Hops-
tiger riding a minecart.
Hops out of the minecart and lands perfectly on her feet on the ground. So this room that you guys have now just entered, it's a huge cavern. The ceiling is about 50 feet from the ground, from the floor in this room, and there are plenty of stalactites hanging from the ceiling.
Yes. Good job.
Those of you with dark vision, far to your left as you enter, as you are gaining your wits back, far on the left wall of the room, you notice there's a large doorway opening.
How large?
Cut out of the stone, like 20 feet tall, and it's arched on the wall.
It's like
So Gen can't see that because it's so far away. It's this room's like 100 feet across.
Can I cast a moonbeam to help Gen see?
Yeah, you can.
Do I have to roll for it?
No, you're good. Son. White Tiger holds her hand out, and this like beam of light comes out of it, and she's aiming it like a flashlight at the far wall, so Gen can see this large opening.
I'm really excited.
You guys all
At the
turn and
big
look at this
doorway.
opening where she's casting her light, and you're just looking around, and as you look at this doorway, a black shadow moves over from the top of the doorway down towards the center of it, and then you see two glistening lights reflecting her flashlight, and then you start to see more eyes,
More
sparkling light back at you in this doorway, and you stand there, sort of petrified for a second, and then the shadow starts moving towards you out of the doorway, and it's this bulbous, it's like a sphere, like an oval shape, with huge legs pointing off of it, and it crawls, creeping towards you out of this doorway, and it's now standing on the wall, looking at you. It's a giant spider.
It's a giant spider.
White Tiger lets out a low growl.
Ooh. I would like you guys to roll initiative.